right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming to my webinar, How to Optimize Your Website for Maximum Conversion for Generator Dealers, specifically generator dealers. This is going to also be effective for electrical services, service companies, home service companies, that kind of thing. And really what I want to do after you get the chance to download this workbook is at generatorseo.com/convert-workbook. I also put the link in the chat. This is going to have a lot of great checklists that you can use to make sure that you're optimizing your website for conversion, maybe some ideas that you haven't exactly implemented just yet, but there should be plenty in there for you to go through it. In addition, we have some of our biggest trends that we're following with AI and website optimization, things like that. Okay. Overall, where we like to think about when it comes to digital marketing, our accelerated growth model. So there's really three key components when you're doing digital marketing, when you're marketing in general for your generator business and especially a local service business. Our first piece is driving leads, right? So that's the first and foremost. We need to drive leads in as many different channels as we can, which might be organic SEO, which is creating content, having your website, making sure that your Google profile is operating properly and has content coming in on a regular basis. The other way is paid search, whether you're running Google ads or Meta ads, Facebook and Instagram, or running Nextdoor ads. And then also working with your database. Okay, so that means making sure that you're emailing on a regular basis or you're connecting with stale leads or estimates that never got approved, right? So you have a list of these customers. You want to reach out to them as more frequent as possible. This is low-hanging fruit that you can tap into at any time, is these old estimates that just didn't convert, and they're waiting for you to connect with them and remind them that this job was quoted. Let's get started. It's a big investment. Generators are not cheap, so we want to make sure that you're on top of mind on a regular basis. The next thing we focus on is maximizing conversion. This is probably the most important aspect of what you're doing, because you can get all the leads you want, you can get all the traffic to your website and the traffic to your ads you want, but if you're not utilizing the proper conversion tactics, you're not going to get that person to call you or fill out a form or connect. And that's where maximizing conversion comes in, whether you're focusing on it with your website or you're getting as many reviews as possible, because 5-star reviews is going to convert more people that are looking into it. And again, we're talking about an investment in your home, a $14,000, $15,000 investment. People are going to do their research. So you want to make sure that you've got a good reputation and having automation built in. I know a lot of dealers that just don't have the manpower to do a constant follow-up on leads that are just not connecting or just ghosting. They do one touch point. They reach out and say, yeah, thanks for calling. I'm busy right now. Can you call us back? And then you just lose the time and you're unable to connect on a more consistent level. And then optimizing your results. So after you're doing all of that, you want to make sure that you are really watching your return on investment. You are looking at your average cost per lead. You're looking at your total spend out of pocket across all of your different channels. So how much you're spending for Google Ads, how much you're spending for Meta, how much you're paying an agency, and what is all of that returning, and on those different levels. So these are the three primary components that we want to focus on. And we have this all broken out in different pieces. Today, we're just going to focus on the website end of things. At some point towards the end of this, I am going to get a little into automation, show you a few things that one of our dealers are doing. And we'll also get into a little bit of our Generac co-op and our recommendation for how to spend and how to burn through that co-op throughout the rest of the year. Okay, so before I get started, who am I and why should you listen to me? I'm not an electrician, so I'm a marketer by trade. I'm actually a commercial artist by trade and got into marketing about 15, 16 years ago. So I have more than 18 years of experience. I've worked directly with more than 75 generator dealers across the country since 2014. I've spoken at mastermind cohort events for successful electrical contractors, and that's me actually at the NEGDA conference back in Princeton up here in the Northeast. I'm also a member of EXA, and I'm also the author of Digital Marketing for Generator Dealers. You can get that book for free. Just sign up on the website. It's a legit book. It's chock full of everything that you need for digital marketing. You could literally follow along that entire book and make sure that you're dialed into the program that we run for our dealers on a regular basis. And I'm also the creator of our podcast, Powering Success, which has actually been pretty good. We've got 10 episodes now, and we're still recording podcasts, and some of the dealers love it. So we're going to keep going. Okay. This is actually us and all of our clients, or most of our clients, at the Generac conference a couple of weeks ago. That was a lot of fun. We met up with everybody at the bar at ours during the conference, so that was a lot of fun. And this is our executive team. This is our mission, is to help 100 generator dealers double or even triple their revenue. We do everything from custom web design to website SEO to local marketing, pay-per-click ads, automation, Service Titan, House Call Pro, Jobber integrations with CRMs. We're doing everything under the sun, and we're all a stateside company, so we don't outsource overseas help for any of this work. Okay, so that's it. And just so you know too, if this is something that you guys are interested in us helping you with, feel free to jump to our website, schedule a strategy session. We'll go through all of these details with you and maybe even work together on a more client agency basis. Okay, so biggest trends. Okay, so some of the biggest trends that we're seeing now, digital marketing it's rapidly evolving, more so in the last 6 months, I'd say, because of AI that's coming up. And a lot of dealers are asking us, if are they missing the boat on anything, AI voice answering or AI chat, things like that. And my answer is always just like, it's like a soft no, right? You're not really missing anything just yet, except if you can really dial into AI and what services that are out there, it could really help you. But you have to have the time to really look at the services, really look at how it's working and operating. AI likes to hallucinate a little bit with pricing for generators, and I know a lot of guys don't like to do that. So there's things that it's good for, things that it's not good for, but it is rapidly evolving. So more things that we're seeing in terms of biggest trends, mobile versus desktop use. Maybe 10 years ago, we were more important focused on the website. Everybody was sitting in front of a keyboard and a monitor and looking at websites, but now it's all on the mobile phones. It's maybe 70% people are looking for generator dealers on the mobile phones. So super important that you have the mobile experience of your website optimized so that people can click to call, they can fill out your forms, they can browse the content quickly and easily. So that's a super, super important trend. Speed and performance, you have 2 seconds to load that website. So if it's not loading fast, there's something wrong. Your website needs to be lightning fast, even on the mobile phones. Mobile phones have super high refresh rate, which is good. So you don't have to worry about like slow connections. The old dial-ups don't exist anymore, especially with the mobile phones, but your website could bog it down and load slower if there's, I don't know, some underlying issues, or with a good host, something like that. Contact and lead capture optimization. So there are so many different people out there, and they all like to behave differently when interacting with a home service company. Think about it for yourself. How would you like to connect with a home service company if you were looking to, let's say, redo your roof or do some electrical service or get some plumbing done or even emergency stuff? Would you go find a website and pick up the phone and call? Would you rather chat with somebody if the chat option was there? Would you rather fill out the form and just wait? Or would you rather just send a text message and communicate via two-way SMS text messaging? So you have to take into account how you might want to interact with these companies, but make sure that you've got all of these options available for all of those different types of people. So if you've got the chat, you've got the form, you got the phone number, it says call or text, you're giving every single opportunity for them to connect with you, because you work so hard to answer those calls within a few seconds or a few minutes. You want to make sure that you're not missing any opportunities because you didn't have what was available or what they were looking for in terms of communication. Reviews and trust factors, super important. Reviews of a double whammy, because reviews will help you convert the leads that are looking and doing some research, but reviews are also a huge ranking signal on Google. The more five-star reviews you have, the more ranking, the more exposure you will get, the better you will look over all of your competition. Can't stress this enough. We have clients that come to us and they got 15 leads in the last 12 years of being in business, and then we work with them and we try to help them with review gathering strategies, and we get them to maybe 100 and 200 within the first year. And this is where you should be. If you're in business for 10 years plus, you should have well over 200 or 300 five-star reviews. So super important to get that taken care of. Video and visual engagement. So video is very important to have on your website. Have a YouTube channel. Doesn't have to be constant videos. It just doesn't have to be, and it doesn't have to have anything with production value. It could be just a walkthrough around a generator startup. Just could just be you explaining the process. So with the new generator units, things like that, and just have that integrated on your website too. So having a video on your website will also, it's scroll, they're like scroll stoppers, right? When you see the video, you just like pause for a second and decide if you want to watch it or not and hit it. Even if you're not watching the whole thing, it still gets you to engage with the website, spend a little bit more time and absorb what it is you're putting out there for the person that's using it. And chatbots, AI driven lead capture. So this is what I was talking about. There's so many services out there right now, so many companies that are trying to take advantage and get out there and say, oh, we got to put a chatbot on your website. We've closed 30% more lead traffic with a chatbot. And sometimes it's just not great. So if you do get into any of that, I would highly recommend that you test it on repeat. Now, having a chatbot connected to your office attendant would be great. You can have a chatbot that's instructed to just either book an appointment or get that person's information. And it would just give them enough answers and information just to get those details. So somebody thinks that they're communicating with somebody, but they're more just like, can we have somebody reach out to you? Just give us your phone number. We'll have somebody call, something like that. If it's a quick question, you might be able to set prompts up so that the AI can respond a little bit differently. We are not currently using AI chatbots on our websites because of the various questions that people are asking around pricing, and it's very hard to estimate the cost of a 20 kW, 26 kW, liquid cool, and all these other units when there are so many unknown variables at the person's residence. So that's tricky to train a chatbot. And a lot of these other companies that are pushing chatbots and AI and all this other stuff, they don't understand the generator customer and the homeowner interested in generator and what it is that they need to use it. So my guess is that their logic is probably more in line for electrical needs or HVAC, anything like that, not specifically generators. So getting into your website, and those biggest trends are on the workbook too. So you can take a look at that and all the sources that we have on there. So when we focus on our website, we want to make sure that you understand that the website is the hub. Okay, so that's where everything is coming in. That's where people find you on Generac, PowerPlay, that they're going to see that. They're going to see your website. They're going to go to your website, your social media. They're going to see your posts. They're going to see your ads. They're going to go to your website. So you have to understand that your website is a primary hub for where all of your leads are funneling into. Even when people are out there talking, oh, you got to hire ABC Electric to do that generator. Great. What's their website address? They're not just going to say, give me their phone number. I'll call them up. So they're going to check your website out. So you want to make sure that the website is designed and developed the way that you want it with all the information that you can provide. That includes, like I said, word of mouth, referrals, radio and TV, postcards, signs, everything is coming in to your website. So why is it so important? So I did a little scenario one, just going to burn through that one little, okay. So in scenario one, we have 500 visitors per month. Okay, and that's to your traffic. It's traffic to your website right now, and maybe you're converting at 5%. That's probably even a high percentage. But that 5% gets you 25 phone calls, 30% conversion. Let's say you're converting maybe 30% of the calls that come in. You get 7.5 booked installer service contracts from that. Gives you an average transaction of 14,500 for 108 grand on that one scenario. Now, if your conversion was dialed in and you're still getting 500 visitors, but now you're making some adjustments to your conversion and you're adding all of these conversion tactics and you're increasing the conversion rate to 15%. All those other numbers triple. So that's just like a little math to break it down so that you're working on the conversion, you're going to see an increase in percentage of that conversion rate. So important to understand that wherever you are currently, make some adjustments and you can increase that revenue just from those little adjustments. So just like an example, this was an old website that Bold Electric had. And I don't know if you can see that, but his phone number, this is a 369-digit phone number with a little ragging 7 there. It's just like a wall of text, some broken links, and a bunch of different places. So what we did, we took the team photo, can't really see it, took their team photo. They're a Kohler Platinum dealer. These guys don't really do Generac. And what they do, where they do it. New Jersey's generator experts. Power, what matters most. and we have their call to actions, their phone number in the corner, get a quote, scroll down a little bit further, and we have a form and all this other stuff. So we saw just from that change alone, after about a few months, we just start seeing the calls coming in. So we did a tracking on this a little bit a ways back when we were trying to assess what conversion was actually doing, what a website change was going to do, and finally seeing 79 phone calls coming in to the website. So in case you didn't see it, it's a duplicate slide there. Okay. So the workbook does have critical elements for conversion all on here. So you could check these all off. We're going to go through them a little bit in more of a styled fashion, but I'm going to show you a few examples. Ready Power USA down in Louisiana. These guys have a big, huge team. They service and install all these different brands. When the power is off, we're on. Here's a link to their in-home consultation, 5-star reviews. Check out our reviews. We have all of this is very prominent on their homepage. Again, bold, more so on the mobile end. This is Nomic Power down in Austin, Texas. They got great photography of their team. They're showing their crews installing generators. Another great mobile site. They click the phone call down here. We also have the phone button up here in the top corner. So we're making sure that we have those conversion elements throughout the websites. This is another one in Houston, Texas, that's got a little bit different of content. They don't have as many pictures, but we have the Generac on here. What you do, where you do it is like the content that we have on the site to make sure that somebody gets to your website, they understand that they are where they want to be, and now all they have to do is click some of these yellow buttons and they can get somebody on the phone. So how can we get your website to convert like that? 4 big conversion levers that we have that you should focus on, okay? One is online scheduling. I know how difficult this is with Service Titan and with House Call Pro, with big teams and big crews, installing a tremendous amount of generators, have big projects that you're doing. So it's very difficult to hook up the calendar to your website and have somebody just book right into your system, right? So what you want to do on that end is just create like a soft scheduler on your website. Maybe select maybe 2 days out of the week with 2 or 3 hours available, and let the traffic book their own meetings. And when the appointment comes in, now you've got a lead. Okay. You don't have to make it to that appointment. You have the lead who thinks they have an appointment. All you have to do is call them up and say, oh, I made a few mistakes. You can reschedule them right there, or you can take the scheduled appointment and go and see them, and make sure that you've got automation in place that alerts them of the reminders of the appointment, all that other thing, if they're no shows or if they're not available that day, you're not driving all the way out there. But we like to do the soft scheduler. It gives somebody, it's just another conversion tactic for somebody who would much rather just not talk to anybody, not text anybody, but just schedule the appointment. This is probably the best way to do it. The next best thing is to have two-way text messaging available on your website, so that somebody sees that phone number, they can text that phone number, and you can get that in a text and respond to them in a text. Or you can give them the appearance of a textable phone number, so they can text the phone number that's on your site, and you would get a message that somebody texted it with their message, and you can reach out to their phone, you can call them, you can email them, or you can text them back from your office. Phone number in the top right corner, this is like the most important one. You want to make sure that is always on the top of your website. It could be a track phone number too. We use a lot of tracking phone numbers on the websites. Now, online estimators. This is probably one of the newest things that we've been looking at. Within the next 5 years, every home service business is going to have an online estimator. I know this is close to impossible with a generator, but we're going to figure this out. There are companies out there too that are saying, oh, we can put an online estimator on your website. I have not seen this successfully done for a generator for anyone. I've seen a lot of websites that have pricing for a generator, but not like an online estimator. People love to go to your website and tinker with the different options and just see for themselves what it's going to cost. So we are working on a generator estimator. We have to figure out if we're going to require some pictures. Maybe we'll ask them for a picture of their electrical panel. We'll ask them for information on where their gas line is located, on where their electrical panel is located, because these are the things that kind of affect the cost. But if that calculator just returns a general idea of, okay, you need a 22 kW or you need a 24 or 26 based on the options that they select, it could give a good range between 13 and 16,000 or 15 and 18,000, however you want to configure that. But giving that the ability for somebody to actually configure what all of that aspect is, gives you all the information about the job, gives them the pricing information, and now you can reach out and call them. You have the lead, so you can get through to that. It's very important that we get this taken care of and we get this done. I have an example I do want to show you for maintenance. So I'm going to show you my screen. So this is for maintenance. I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. So this is a generator maintenance and service page in the chat form layout. So there is no person behind this. This is all pre-developed with a lot of the content that this particular client has set. Oh, hi there. Can I help you with a generator? My generator needs repair. And now you see a little, oh, okay. So here's all the options. Okay, generator repair and diagnose, something not right with your generator. We can help. What to expect. Here are some of the most common issues. Okay, generator won't start. Warning light or fault codes, right? So let's say that. Okay, get some little information about this. This is what could be the issue. And now it's schedule the diagnostic, or we can go tell me about your maintenance plans and have it give us these results. And we have a few different variables in here. Need scheduled maintenance, air cooled to liquid cooled. So we're asking for what kind of unit do they have? What kind of brand do they have? Houston's climate change. Okay. Tell me about Houston's climate changes. There's just a lot of information here on what getting us to the point of, okay, you need one of our maintenance packages and show me the plans. So this is like a neat way to display this information. We have another one here. This is how we want to build the generator pricing module. So we want to ask them certain questions to gather all of the data, feed them through the process. For maintenance specifically, what brand is your generator? This kind of will show you the progression of along the way in this quiz. It's running fine. This is like a specific question. Where's your home located? Inside the loop. In Houston, they have the loop around Houston. This is a logistical thing. And then you could ask, what's the last professional service? Or maybe 3+ years ago. Do you currently have a maintenance plan? No. Brings them down to the plans. Let's get started. So we've just got some buttons on here. So this is like a more interactive page that you want to have on your website to help pull people along, give them the information they're looking for, have them spend a little bit more time on your website. More time on your site is also another Google ranking signal to help boost your ranking and get you more traffic and expose you more as more of a leader in your industry and your market. So that's what we're doing with pricing. And like I said, we can't wait for the competitors to have pricing calculators on their website. So we're trying to build this for all of our clients and all the websites. It's not easy because of the variables that come along with generators, but I think we'll be able to find a sweet spot and get it done. So this is another checklist that we have. This is for website SEO. You can download this. This is also linked in the workbook too. Let's see, what else are we doing? Okay, messaging that works. I'm going to go through a few of the specifics that you need to have on your website to help you with these conversion tactics, okay? Same day services, emergency services, straightforward pricing, upfront pricing. These are big ranking signals as well. Trustworthy technicians, trusted technicians are experienced, family owned, locally owned, in business for 20 years. So let's prove that you're not a private equity that just gobbled up a generator dealer. So make sure that you're speaking to all of that with content on your website. Stay comfortable during the storm next year. Speak to your ideal customer. Let's point out the issues that people are having in your local market and how you're solving these problems. Even if you have case studies, people that really desperately need a generator and you've helped in the past, get this stuff on your website. This is really great content to have for people that are reading. Be real and authentic. Pictures of your team, pictures of your family, pictures of you in front of your trucks and your vehicles. This is super important. And we try to get every single one of our clients that come in, we're like, okay, let's schedule a photo shoot and let's make sure that you've got some good pictures of your team, of your trucks, of your people, because people want to work with people. They want to see who you are. Like I said before, having video, multimedia on your website. This is more of a how to check your oil, how to see what's wrong with your generator embedded right on your website. This stuff is very helpful and can cause people to spend more time. Leverage your social proof. Make sure that your reviews are dropping in on your website, not just out there in Yelp and Google. Make sure that you're showing them on your website you could use widgets for that, Bird Eye and Review Buzz, things like that have widgets. We actually have our own custom plugins that we drop this all onto the website with, so people can read them as they see them, and Google can also see that you're displaying your social proof on the website. So get your fundamentals right. So this is the most important stuff at the very top of the fold. So this is what you see when you first go to your website. We want to make sure that your phone number is at the top right corner. We want to make sure that you're showing off your reviews, right? Over 200 Google reviews or over 50 Google reviews, whatever it is. If you only have 5, just put see our Google reviews and a link that takes you to your Google profile and try to get that number up. So those are probably the most important. Further down the line, we want to make sure that you have pictures of your team. You have a form that you can fill out to get a quote today. Make it simple, right? And here's some of the social proof here. Top rated, quality focus, priced for you. All of that right by the contact form on the contact page, or even on the home page next to the contact form, to remind people this is why you're good. This is why you should go with us. And here's the form. Here's the phone number. You can have special offers that match services that they're interested in. You could customize them on each page. I wouldn't sleep on this, just like 10% off platinum program, whatever. It sounds like a good deal. If somebody's looking for maintenance or service, or they're just looking for a generator in general, but see that you offer this for ongoing maintenance, is important to have that. Make sure it's mobile friendly, right? 5 billion people using phones. 70% of all traffic is coming in via mobile. So I want to make sure that it's very important that you have it loading fast and mobile friendly with your call to actions and your buttons right there on the top of the page rather than buried in the pages and on the menus. And a click to call. This should be automatic nowadays, but when you actually touch the phone number on a website, it'll pop up the link to actually make that phone call. So important to make sure that is operated. Look at your website today. Go to your website on your mobile phone and browse it and see if that's all intuitive and see if everything looks good and see if everything lays out right, and make sure that you have most of these conversion tactics in place. Consider live chat. A lot of services do this. A lot of CRMs have this. I know that House Call Pro offers it. Service Titan offers it. There's a lot of services that you can use to embed a live chat, especially if you've got somebody in the office all day long, have the live chat on your website, and they can see that pop up on their message. You might be surprised. It could be 1 or 2 legitimate leads per month, but that could be those 1 or 2 opportunities that you're not getting now. So important to try all of these aspects. This is also another popular one with live chat. Even if you don't have somebody, there are services you can just drop in like a little live chat button, and it's just a form, right? So they type in their name, their mobile phone number, what their issue is, or anything like that. They hit send, and they feel like it's sending a chat, but it's more like you just got their information, so you can just reach out to them. But having that little icon at the bottom will get the attention of the people that are looking for that. So this is just a regurgitation of all of the stuff that I just went over with you, all in the workbook. Just going to check my, there we go. Just going to look at that. Okay. Okay. So the question is your website optimized for conversion? The website optimization, all your SEO, this is going to result in leads. So make sure that you've got this stuff dialed in and you're ready to go on all of this stuff. I'm going to show you a few examples of a start and finish, and including some results too. So this is the power connection down in Virginia. This was their website before we got started. This is their website after. A general picture of some electrical lighting, and company looks like it could be pretty small, right? It looks like large scale projects. I don't know what that means. And then a bright big call to action for payments. So they don't even want you to get a quote. They just want you to make a payment. So we get rid of all that. We have a picture of their humongous team. It's like a 100-person company. We have their call to actions there. We have a video link button. We have their call to actions now, a contact button. We did have to keep the payments link though. And all mobile responsive. We made this change and revamped their entire website. And it took maybe about 3 or 4 months before we started to see a real change in calls, form fills, and contacts with the company overall. But you could see that after making those major changes, and this wasn't like a 25-year-old website. This is not a bad looking website, but we made these changes, and this is what happened to their calls and leads. So you need to raise the bar on everything. on all lead flow. And you could do that just by changing out the website. We didn't run any ads for this particular client inside this first year, but you can see that there's a big difference in what you do when you rebuild the website and you start building traffic. It did take a few months to get off the ground, but that was the result from the power connection. AJP was another electrical company up in Connecticut, and this was their first website. Again, not a terrible website, maybe a lot of extra content. This is their new website, full picture of their team, an updated CTA. Check out our Google reviews, get a free quote, power your life with confidence with some more detailed information about generators. And this is like an uptick that we saw in overall leads, including their electrical inside of that first year. And their generators, they weren't seeing any leads before we started. So it was a bit of a rough ride getting in, but we started to see consistency in lead flow, and we raised their lead flow over all of their services, not just generators. And this company sold to a private equity in recent few months. All American Electric, this is just a way for us to show what that conversion rate is when you have 400 or 500 visitors to a website and 37 total leads. We're showing this 7.5% conversion rate. This is a really good number. I think 5% is a good number, but this is a number that we're constantly trying to track. We also do a blended cost overall spend on ads, agency costs, things like that, and what their average cost per lead is about $81.22, which is a good number. We want to be under probably around $100 a lead, blended over ads and agency, organic, everything. But they're at 7.5%. AJP was at 7.4%, similar spend and cost per lead. Matlock down in Arkansas had a much better conversion rate, change 530 visitors to a website with 65 leads, both generator and electrical. So a lot more electrical. 12.2% conversion rate, but this is the number that we're looking for. This is an amazing conversion rate on a website with a very low amount of spend. Which of the following should you implement, or which of the previous would you implement now? So what are the most important things? Pick 3 things to implement right now, whether that be live chat or putting the form on your homepage or updating the content with some of your team pictures and changing out your main messaging on the website. It should not just say, we're here for you when you need us. It should just be generator experts in New York or something like that's more in line with what people are looking for. So very simple changes that you can make, and you will see a difference in a very short amount of time. So that is the SEO portion of this, and overall maximizing conversion when you've got the website dialed in and you're getting leads and you're running ads and everything's coming in. Sometimes the question is lead flow really the problem? You're getting leads, but maybe they're ghosting you, or maybe you're just not closing the jobs, or you can't get them to call you back, things like that. So this is where conversion becomes the problem, right? So the biggest challenge facing generator dealers, unconverted leads and estimates. So some of the problem with the leads, 50 to 60% of inbound leads go unconverted. 90% of the web forms fail to convert also. And some of the reason is because leads that are not followed up within 15 minutes go cold. And I know you guys are solid on that, and you're going to probably call the lead within 5 minutes. So that's probably not the issue, right? The average customer must be followed up within 5 to 7 times before finally booking the appointment. So even if you talk to them that first time, oh yeah, what does it usually cost? Or how does it work? What's the process? You have this nice long conversation and it's all really great. I'm going to talk to my wife. I'm going to talk to my husband. I'll get back to you. It can't end there. And so you have to have these additional touch points so that you can pull them over the line. This is where a salesperson comes in handy, but if we don't have the resources for a salesperson, we want to use automation. We don't want to hit them with hey, have you thought about that generator we talked about the other day? You were interested. Let's get started. It's more sending them information about some generators that you've installed in the past, sending them some Google reviews. Oh, look at these 3 clients that we've recently installed a generator for that are happy. Sending them some information about that. They know that they have to get back to you with a decision or with, yeah, let's get an estimate. But giving them this additional information can help pull them over the line. And they prefer to interact via text message, which you can do all of that in a text message or an email or in just even a phone call. So I would put that stuff in an email and a text message and have those messages automated. So our solution is leveraging automation. Okay, so After that first touch point, we send an SMS text message and an email with additional information. We send them again in maybe 3 or 4 days, and then again in a week and a half, and then again in 2 weeks. And that automation will keep going until they either respond or they communicate or they're ready to move forward. So this automation is important to have in place, and this will help convert those leads that are actually coming in the door, and it will increase your conversion rate just by having these automated messages in place. Automate the follow-up so that every prospect is touched 5 times. So yeah, like I said, we want to send out those types of messages where it's take a look at this project that we just did. Here's a picture of a customized generator in the garden, that kind of thing, just to give them some ideas on, oh, this is going to look nice, and this won't be obtrusive, and this will be a simple process. Tell these stories along the way, and you'll get them to convert. We have a set workflow that we run for all of our dealers, similar to this type of automation, to help their sales team, to help their one-off people, to help the guys that are just always out there working and answering the phone. We have the automation in place so they don't have to worry about it beyond that first touch point. Yeah, simple math. We love math. 30 generator leads come in at a conversion rate of 50% with no follow-up. Okay, you get 15 installs booked. I think you know where I'm going with this. 30 leads, 50%, 15 booked, 180 grand. But now if your conversion rate is now 70% because you have automated follow-up, all of these numbers follow suit and you've almost doubled your income. So very important to have the automation running as well. Here's just like an example of a workflow that we've developed for our dealers. I'm not going to get into the details of it. This is just the concept of how things operate. The customer gets it. They get an email and a text. We wait. We send another email and a text. They respond. We send them to the booking calendar, a soft booking calendar. They book it, and now we've got the meeting. Whereas normally this would just drop off and this person would never connect. Is your website optimized for conversion? Let's go through all of that in the workbook. I hope that works out for you. I hope that becomes something valuable for you. You can print out, you can check off, you can give to your marketing guy, you can give to your web guy and say, we need this all to be dialed in. Your web guys will take care of it. They know what they're doing. And if this is something that you want us to look at for you and do for you, this is something that we do. So we just got to just schedule that strategy session. So real quick, I just wanted to show off something about the Generac event a couple of weeks ago. The CEO admitted to a challenging outage environment. Yeah, sure, we understand that. And we know that it was a quiet year. But more importantly, and we're wholeheartedly agree with everything that this guy said, more marketing spend is needed to offset overall market weakness. But they want you to spend it on ads. They're trying to help their dealers by providing co-op funds and a lot of the services with Ansira and all this other stuff. And they want you to spend money on Google ads, on Facebook ads, and running postcards, doing radio, and all of these different ways to get leads. What they're not showing you is really everything that I've just brought you through on optimizing your website. Between 65 and 70% of all leads that we see coming in come in organically. They come in through the Google profile and the website. That's huge. That means if all of the leads that you're getting are coming in through ads or referral, or just having a good brand and good name out there and people are just calling you up, that means you're missing the opportunity on the lion's share of leads that exist out there. All you have to do is dial in on your website, create the content, make sure that everything's converting properly, and you will start to see a huge uptick in lead flow just from focusing a lot of time and effort on your website. This also is part of spending more money, right? You want to hire an agency or hire somebody to help you with your website and your content, and not just posting content on social media, but writing content for your website to build the ranking signals, to get your website to have a better ranking over your competition on the Google Maps. I have webinars for that too. Stay tuned. I don't know if it's next month, but I do a webinar on the proper SEO tactics for your website to get you ranked on Google, proper Google Maps tactics to get you ranked on Google Maps. So I do a lot of those webinars too, so we can get into that. along the way. I've also got pre-recorded ones on my YouTube channel you can check out, but those are and they're current, but some of the new content, I do a lot of these on repeat because the information and algorithms change on a regular basis. So I want to make sure that it's always up to date. We created a Generac co-op burn strategy calculator. If you wanted to check this out, this will help you set up the money that you spend for co-op use. If you've got $5,000 in co-op, it's pretty easy to spend. But if you got 30,000 or 40 or $50,000 in co-op, it's difficult. So you might want to use this calculator to help you spread out the funds, to help you make use of all of the co-ops that are available and use our recommendation, which is mostly Google ads, Facebook ads, postcard campaigns, and the video and any kind of video marketing that you might want to do. They're covering up to 75% of that. Okay. So if you have any questions about any of that, please put it in the chat. I'm happy to stay and tell you anything about that, whatever questions you might have. But in the meantime, check out our website and take a look at what we're offering in terms of service. And if you're just interested in us helping you with where you're currently at, we're happy to do an overview for you. We do an analysis of your website. We do an analysis of your online visibility. We do a competitor analysis. We'll show you where you stand against your competitors in your local market. We'll also help you with a co-op recommendation for spending out your co-op. And we'll also help you figure out exactly how much money you should budget for the rest of the year in terms of digital marketing. Okay, so we actually have a calculator for that. So whatever based on how much money you want to bring in, whatever your goal is this year, 500,000, a million, million five, 2 million, you should be spending a roughly, depending on how conservative or how aggressive you want to be, maybe between 5 and 8% of the new revenue you want to bring in on marketing. And we would put 80% on digital, and we would take that other 20%, put maybe 15% on print, whether that be postcards or mailers, local sponsorships, things like that, and 5% on other revenues like putting money into a focused referral campaign, things like that. But that's basically what we would do on a strategy session. So feel free to scan that code and schedule an appointment with us. You can go through fill out the form. It'll ask you to schedule the appointment. We love these appointments. I think we talked to maybe 4 or 5 dealers per week going through their strategy session. We have them all in our system. We do all of this data analysis. So I think over the last year, we spoke to maybe 200 dealers, currently working with 30, running our program across the country. And that's it. And look forward to speaking with you guys soon too. I hope this was, and we're about 50 minutes in. So I hope this was valuable. And I will have the recorded version available. Please ask if anybody questions, if anybody has any questions, please let me know in the chat. Otherwise, thank you very much for your time, and I'm glad to see you come. Thank you. Thanks, Callie. Good to see you again. Michelle, thank you. Good to see you. Guys have my emails too. Christian, you're always here. Yes, Tom, I will send the recorded version via email today, probably toward the end of the day in an email. You'll have that link. Very welcome. All right. All right, I think that's it, guys. We'll see you next time.